The thing above Black Ridge. Nobody in Black Ridge talked about the mountain after dark. During the day, the town looked almost peaceful. Small grocery store, old gas station, wooden houses covered in snow 6 months of the year. The mountains surrounded everything like giant walls. Beautiful place. Terrible place to live. I moved there in November after my uncle died. He left me his cabin near the forest edge just outside town. The locals acted strange the moment I arrived. At the gas station, an old woman noticed my address and immediately asked, "You staying there alone?" I said yes. She stopped smiling, then quietly said, "Keep the lights on at night." That should have been enough warning for me. But people always ignore warnings when they sound mysterious instead of practical. If someone says, "Don't go in there, a giant creature might tear your spine out," humans somehow hear. That sounds interesting. My uncle's cabin sat near the base of Black Ridge Mountain. Dense pine forests surrounded the property. No nearby neighbors. No cell service. At night, the entire forest became completely silent. Not normal silent. Dead silent. No insects. No birds. Nothing. The first few nights were normal. Mostly unpacking boxes and fixing broken things around the cabin. But every night around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps outside. Slow. Heavy. Crunching through snow. At first I thought it was a bear. Black Ridge had plenty of them. But bears don't walk in circles around a cabin for hours. And they definitely don't stop directly outside bedroom windows. The fourth night, I finally looked outside. Big mistake. Snow covered everything beyond the glass. The porch light barely reached the tree line. For a moment I saw nothing. Then I noticed movement. Something tall standing between the trees. Watching the cabin. I couldn't tell what it was exactly. The figure blended into the darkness. But it was massive. Far taller than any person. I stepped closer to the window. The figure moved behind a tree instantly. Fast. Way too fast for something that size. The next morning, I found tracks outside. Not bear tracks. Footprints. Huge human-like footprints pressed deep into the snow. At least 16 inches long. And spaced impossibly far apart. Like whatever made them could cross several feet in one step. I took pictures immediately. When I showed them to people in town, nobody reacted the way I expected. Nobody seemed surprised. The old man working inside the grocery store barely even looked at the photos. He just muttered, "You heard whistling yet?" I laughed nervously. No. The man stared at me for a few seconds too long, then said, "You will." That night, I locked every door in the cabin. Snowstorm winds slammed against the walls for hours. Around midnight, the power went out. The cabin fell completely dark. Only moonlight illuminated the trees outside. Then I heard it. Whistling. Somewhere deep in the forest. Soft. Slow. Almost human. The sound moved between trees like something circling the cabin. Then it stopped. Directly outside. I held my breath. A few seconds later, 3 knocks hit the front door. Not loud. Gentle. Like a person trying not to wake someone. I grabbed my flashlight and kitchen knife. Because apparently my survival instincts were designed by complete idiots. Slowly I approached the door. The knocking came again. 3 soft knocks. I looked through the small window beside the entrance. Nothing there. Only darkness and falling snow. Then the whistling started again. This time behind the cabin. I turned immediately toward the back window. That's when I saw it clearly for the first time. A huge pale figure standing near the tree line. Its body looked almost human. But wrong. Too tall. Too thin. Long arms hanging near its knees. White fur moved in the wind across its shoulders and chest. And its eyes reflected light like an animal. The thing slowly tilted its head toward me. Then smiled. Not an animal smile. A human smile. I stumbled backward immediately. The creature walked behind a tree and disappeared. But the whistling continued all night. The next morning I drove into town again. This time people avoided me completely. Nobody wanted to discuss the mountain. Until finally an old hunter named Walter spoke to me outside the gas station. "You saw it." It wasn't a question. I nodded slowly. Walter looked toward the mountains. Used to be miners disappeared up there. His voice stayed calm. Then hikers, hunters, tourists. I asked him what the thing was. He shook his head slowly. "Don't matter." Then he said something that made my stomach tighten. "It only comes close when winter starts." Walter explained that years ago, people blamed bears for disappearances. Until they found bodies. Or parts of them. Always high in trees. Like something carried them upward. He told me the creature copied sounds. Whistling. Voices. Knocking. Sometimes even screaming. To lure people outside. That night Walter came to the cabin carrying a rifle. He refused to stay inside. Instead, he sat on the porch watching the forest. Snow fell heavily around us. The woods looked endless in the darkness. Around 1:40 a.m., Walter suddenly stood up. "You hear that?" At first I heard nothing. Then faintly, my own voice, coming from somewhere deep in the trees, calling for help. Walter immediately grabbed my arm. "Don't answer it." The voice came again, perfectly copying me. "Someone help me." The sound moved closer through the forest. Branches snapped loudly. Something huge was moving between the trees. Walter raised the rifle. Then the forest went silent again. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then we heard footsteps. Heavy, slow, circling the cabin again. Walter pointed his flashlight toward the woods. For 1 second, the beam caught it. The creature stood between trees, maybe 50 yards away, at least 8 feet tall. White fur covered most of its body, but parts of its skin looked gray and almost human underneath. Its arms were horrifyingly long, and its face looked almost like a starving man. The creature suddenly sprinted sideways through the trees. I have never seen anything move that fast in my life. Walter fired immediately. The gunshot echoed across the mountain. Silence followed. Then from somewhere above us came whistling. We slowly looked upward. The thing was in the trees, watching us from above, and it was smiling again.